Hello everybody, I'm Storm here. Welcome back to Final Fantasy XI Online. In the last episode, we retrieved the remaining 2 Magicite that we needed, took them back to Windurst in the past, gave them to Robel Akbel, and he revealed who he was. And what it turns out is that he is, as we suspected, a time traveler, but not from our present, but from the dark version of the present that Lilith is from, where the Allied forces failed to defeat the Shadow Lord and the Beastman Confederate in the Crystal War. And so he came back in time to help ensure that things go differently this time. And to do so, he's going to help the current Karaha Baruha, because he is Karaha Baruha, right, who failed to summon Fenrir, and so he's going to help the current Karuha Baraha summon Fenrir. And we found out that those two, I'm getting kind of ahead of myself, that Karaha Baruha and the Star Sibyl were romantically involved. And so we joined the defense of Windurst, helped fight off the Yagudo and the Kindred. And then, as they're looking like we're going to be getting overwhelmed anyway, Robel Akbel and Karuha Baruha summoned Fenrir. It wreaked havoc with the Yagudo army and seemed to have won us the day. But they were unable to control it, and their souls were absorbed into the beast, and it blasted off in the direction of Ostraja. And so now that's left Romamigo, Perivashai, and Leko Haboka, trying to keep the name straight, to plan the continued defense of Windurst and the next steps of the war, and what to do with Fenrir. Since they need some time to do that, we are going to be returning back to the main Wings of the Goddess storyline and progressing with that before returning to the Windurst quests. So, that's kind of where we're at. Covered a lot of ground. We'll see where we get today. Alright, so since we're going to be doing that, what we need to do is we need to head back to Sandoria and go back to the Lion Springs Tavern. Oh, not Ceruta Bruto. Run Far Front, Southern Sandoria S. Alright, let me get over there, and I'll be right back. Alright, we are here. Let's see what's happening. Mr. Mayakov, let me first of all to thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to speak with us here today. Now, if you would, sir, please share with us the inspiration behind this, your latest show. Oh boy, Mayakov. Alright, it would be my pleasure. As I am sure you all know by now, when it comes to the pursuit of artistic beauty and excellence, my troop Mayakov knows no bounds. It matters not a whit whether we stand before the royal throne or within the very bowels of hell. Troop Mayakov will continue to dance no matter what the circumstances. Okay. Even should the abyss be our destination, Alexei Mayakov. Okay. I had to figure out how to read that correctly. Shall dance to the end of days. Bravo, bravo. Hey. Lisette? Ah, Tuna, over here. Thank you for coming. You must have heard about the send-off. Send-off? You hadn't? I'm not surprised. To educate you, the knights are being treated to a dance performance on the eve of their departure for Valdonia. Ah, I see. I'm sure you're present for Mr. Mayakov's interview. Did anything about the interaction with the journalist strike you as odd? Notice anything unusual? Not particularly. I'm glad to hear it didn't escape everyone's attention. Those flowery words dripping like nectar from his mouth. I know I heard something uncannily similar not so long ago. Here's my theory. This blurring of history and waning of memories could only be the work of Atomos. It's devouring time as it sees fit and doing a rather shoddy job of patching together the shreds. Lisette, how the girls supposed to rehearse while you're out here? Okay, socializing, I think, is what that word is supposed to be. Hurry up inside this instant. I'll be right there, Mr. Mayakov. Thotheolithing, yes, okay. I must go and prepare. But Tuna, just this night, let's forget all the unsettling events of late and enjoy ourselves to the fullest, okay? Ooh, Sir Ragalith of the Knights of the Ironclad Hawk? You do Troop Mayakov the highest honor by blessing us with your esteemed presence. We have been beside ourselves with the anticipation of your arrival, sir. The finest seat in the house has been prepared for your viewing pleasure and comfort. And you have my thanks. Well, if it isn't Tuna, there's a seat inside with your name on it. At least, he still seems to be okay. It's fabulous to have you here, but I'm afraid young Lisette won't be gracing the stage tonight. The other girls insist they don't remember her, and they just can't seem to keep in time. They even put the word sigh, which is just an emote, in his speech. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Troop Myakov, I extend to you our warmest welcome. Tonight we have prepared a special performance to honor the brave knights who will soon leave hearth and home behind to march for the frozen north. Please join me now in a spirited round of applause for these indefatigable defenders of Sandoria. Thank you, thank you. At this juncture, I would like to call upon Sir Regulus of the Knights of the Iron Crest Hawk to say a few words on behalf of the Kingdom's Knights. Please make yourselves at ease. Before I begin, I would like to say that I stand before you as an equal, for truly no man or woman here is less worthy than I to be given the stage. The fire of war has raged across the realm, from Jugner and Lethane to the very gates of our fairish city. In this age of strife, it is all too easy to succumb to despair. Never must we lose heart, for though the sun may set, it most assuredly will rise again. Then may we behold the light of a morn banishing the darkness. The beastmen may rend our flesh and batter our walls, but never will they shatter our courage. Though blade may break and quiver be spent of shaft and bolt, never shall our hope fade. With our brothers and sisters of the Alliance fighting by our side, we shall weather this storm and emerge triumphant for the children of Altana. On the morrow, Allied commanders shall convene in Juneau for a strategy meeting. The final stage of the Northern Expedition is nigh, and when it finally commences, rest will become a distant memory for us all. Let tonight be a time of unbridled joy and merriment. Revel, my friends, revel to your heart's content. Does the entertainment night please you, Sir Regulus? I'm most pleased, Alexei, I assure you, and I can't deny that the stage feels eerily empty, bereft of her presence. I'm meaning to ask a favor of you. Then ask away, my good sir. If there's anything this simple dancer can do to be of service, nothing would give him more pleasure. I shall be frank, we are short-handed for the upcoming operation. Oh, you'd have the dancers of Troop Myakov fight at your side? Consider it done. Loath as I am to disappoint, fleet-footed message runners, not warriors, are what I require. Oh, and poor little me was desperately hoping to see some action. Success in an operation of such grand scale, you see, rests upon perfect synchrony between the nations, thus the need for the swift relaying of information. Your troops is a recognized and respected name across the realm. Further, I know full well that your people can hold their own in battle should the need arise, heaven forfend. I would be loath to entrust a role of such import to any other. Oh, you have such a way with words, Sir Regulus. If that's the task you would have us do, then look no further than Lillicet and this winsome lass, I think, here. A pleasure to make your acquaintance. I say, have we met? I fumble to express myself, but my heart tells me our paths have crossed previously. I pray you do not misinterpret my intentions, my lady. My profoundest apologize if I have given offense. And let me introduce Lisette, my brightest young dancer. Beside her is Tuna, our troop's #1 supporter. You'll be pleased to know that Tuna's a decorated member of the Cobra Mercenaries. You set my mind at ease, my friend. Once again, I find myself sinking deeper into your debt. Now then, without further ado, I shall set you to your first assignment. Pray make for Juno immediately upon the conclusion of the festivities. I shall brief you regarding the details of the operation thence. May the goddess speed your way. Mr. Mayakov, Tuna. There you are, Lisette. The things you've been telling me, they were all true. Huh? Being erased from people's memories. A debonair gentleman of Sir Ragalisa's caliber wouldn't think to indulge in such a tasteless jest. You do have a point. Plus, there's still no sign of Portia. What in the goddess's good name is happening to my girls? In light of these recent inexplicable events, I've decided to take a grand diete of faith and believe your fantastical tales of time traveling. It took you a while, Mr. Mayakov, but I'm glad that you finally come around. You two are up against those fashion-challenged fiends, aren't you? The Spite Wardens. You poor things. I can't imagine how frightening it must have been at times. You don't have to worry, Mr. Mayakov. After all, I'm the Moonshade Butterfly, Troop Mayakov's rising star. What's more, I have Tuna to back me up. Together we form Future Fabulous, a tag team duo that simply can't be beat. Your youthful optimism did always raise my spirits. Mr. Mayakov, I want to thank you for your kindness, looking after me when I first joined the troop, drilling me on the finer points of the Krieg stands. To be honest, there was hardly anything left for me to do. It was as if you'd been dancing... had been dancing since you were inside the womb. Did you ever receive training under anyone? Truth be told, Mother did teach me a thing or two. One last thing, Lisette, Tuna. Do you feel like things are pirouetting out of control? Remember that you can always seek refuge here. I'm not about to forget my own troop's poster girl or her trusty sidekick. That's a promise. Thank you, Mr. Mayakov. Now that the formalities are settled, we can get back to focusing on our mission. Something's brewing in Zarkabard. I can feel it in the pit of my stomach. With me, Tuna. Next stop, the Grand Duchy of Juno. Alright. That was a long cutscene. Alright. So, we are now off to Sarmuk Champagne. The Bulwark Gate to enter the city of Juno. Or at least to see a cutscene in the city of Juno. Fastest way there is going to be the Void Watch teleport if you are progressed along in that, which I think I am. Otherwise, I'm going to have to use the book and ride. the refiner. Request teleportation. Oh, I am not. Alright then. At least not on this character anyway. That actually would be a better idea. Can I do that? Yes, I can go to Rolandberry Fields. Which is in the present. Alright, and then what we do is we use the Cavernous Maw to go back to the past. And then from here, we ride to Saramug Champagne because this is a bit closer than the actual Saramug Champagne survival guide in the past, which is at the border between Saramug Champagne and Merifatad Mountains, way at the southern end of the map. So yeah, we would cross the bridge in Saramug Champagne, and that should put us pretty much right where we need to be. And it actually is not that far away. I don't think that this is... No, we can't use that gate. Because for some reason, they only made one of the Junoan gates actually the one that functions. So right around the corner here is the gate we need. Alright, because if I had the Void Watch teleporter, it would literally put me right here. Probably need to work on Void Watch. Alright. And you two are... come to partake in the Allied Strategy Meeting. You'd best hurry. All nations' representatives have long made their way to the audience chamber. Kusuro. And there's Kamlano in the background there. The Joint Operation Headquarters has been established here in the Duchy under the auspices of Archduke Kamlano. As you all know, the allied forces of Altana have been amassing in Valdonia ahead of the looming battle. For Blessing, the enemy's campaign against Vana'diel has effectively halved their presence in Valdonia. Even so, the Beastman Confederate force fortified in the Beastman Confederate force, fortified in the Northlands, is reported to exceed 50,000 strong. Commander Vana'diel has sent word regarding the situation at the Valdonian front, and tidings are grim. Next to no ground has been made in the advance expedition against the Beastmen. The time has come for the Allied forces to hurl its entire weight against the icy walls of Castle Zval and put an end to this impasse. Give the Regalies to the Knights of the Ironcrest Hawk, step forth. Sir? You are hereby appointed commander of the Northern Forces with plenary authority over the siege of Castle Zval. Pound out the details of the operation of the meeting to be held hence. Sir, yes, sir. Without further ado, I shall explain the particulars of the operation. Our forces shall be divided up by nation. Upon arrival in Zargabard, each nation is to take position at one of 3 rally points indicated. Pardon my premature interruption, but I fail to see the wisdom in spreading so thinly our limited manpower. Allow me to enlighten you. The 3 positions you see have been chosen by virtue of their distance to the enemy's route of passage, Castle Zval and the subterranean cavern, respectively. Subterranean cavern? It is known that beneath the Zargabard lies a network of caverns that stretches to the bowels of Castle Zval. By commencing our offensive in concert, we can engineer the enemy's retreat into the caverns, and ultimately, the castle itself. Chief Sturm, have you the requested item? Naturally, Captain Bartholomeus himself relayed the specifics of your order to me. Okay. At my behest, our Bastalkan allies have furnished us with a batch of custom explosives. Upon the confirmation of the enemy's retreat into the castle, we shall detonate the explosive and induce a cave-in of said passage, severing all escape routes. Thence the siege of Castle Zval shall commence in earnest. I see. That concludes the first half of the operation. The second half begins with a frontal assault on Castle Zval, a diversion, to be sure. While the enemy's eyes are fixed on their front gate, a strike force will steal its way into the castle's flank, and then storm the keep and deal the killing blow. The strategy shall henceforth be known as Operation Snowstorm. Success rests upon all units involved moving and breathing as one body and mind. A brilliantly concocted strategy is what I would say had we sufficient troops to execute it. Our thoughts exactly. Why, it would be nothing short of a miracle if we weren't instead felled by the very same prey we seek to dispatch. Have the temperate climes of Sandoria softened your grip on the harshness of reality? What? How dare you? Legatus Maximilian, please, pressed for time as we are, I beg you keep your comments constructive. 'Tis quite alright, Master Caster. I shan't deny that many a kingdom strategy has been somewhat unorthodox of late. But pray bear with me for a moment longer. I promise that all doubts will be assuaged. Enter. And who might these men and women be? would be no exaggeration to call them the caulk that shall keep afloat the vessel that is Operation Snowstorm. Sparsely manned as our main units are, they can ill afford to focus on aught but their assigned tasks. To allow us the flexibility to deal with the unforeseen, it is deemed that a flying column would best suit our needs. The Hydra Core is the unit's name. Its configuration has been optimized for adaptability and the ever-changing face of the battlefield. Fascinating. Great balls of Firaga, if it isn't Putori Tutori. Just when I was wondering where you might be hiding, lo and behold, you've gone and joined the Hydra Corps. Yeah, it's a long story, but in a nutshell, I was duly invited to become a member. As you know, spells have never been my forte, but here my talents will get to see full use. Because you're wearing the Thief Relic, and that is not me as the Dragoon there. The Geminian Warlocks, I leave under your astute leadership. Do not try to bumble you here. Likewise to you, little brother. In choosing members for this elite unit, each individual's unique talents were given precedence over proficiency in warfare. Well, this certainly explains the rumors that master craftsmen from across the Middle Lands have assembled to produce weapons of unequaled might. Might I venture to assume that all apprehensions regarding manpower have now been addressed? You assume correctly, Sir Regulus. Please disregard my earlier display of effrontery. So this is the celebrated Sandorian commander who has garnered such lavish praise? He appears every ilm the shrewd technician spoken of in rumors. I dare say victory might yet be within grasp. There's a steep and rocky path that lies before us, my friends, but so long as we stand united, there is no mountain we cannot crest. Together we shall restore peace to our lands. Because we're over there. Right. As the final item on the agenda, allow me to introduce the two volunteers who will serve as messengers for the operation. Thrilled to meet you all. I'm the Lisette, Troop Myakov's brightest star, and with me here is Tuna, my trusty companion. Together we form the unbeatable tag team duo Future Fabulous. And on that note, the meeting is concluded. We shall next meet on the snow-clad fields of Aldonia, ensure that your respective units' passage there is uneventful. May the goddess smile upon us. Sir Regulus has been straining himself ever since the dance performance. The thought of Portia torments him still. He keeps his personal ordeals well hidden behind a mask, but to me it may as well be made of glass. Please keep heart, Sir Regulus. Surely we'll triumph over the Beastmen, and then you and Portia will be reunited. Your concern is touching, young lady, but my foremost priority is the operation's success. Private matters have no place on the battlefield, nor in my mind. As commander, I must abide no thought that might impair my judgment. War is a fickle thing. Plan out every single detail that we might, no man can know how events will unfold. How events will unfold. Well then, pray make ready to leave for Zarkabard at the earliest hour. May the goddess watch over you. Tuna, do you know what happened at the Battle of Zarkabard? How events are supposed to have unfolded? History tomes state that the Allied forces triumphed despite overwhelming odds, securing victory in the conflict. With so much history already altered and countless variables at play, I dare not place my trust in the words of a book. First-hand accounts, on the other hand. Tuna, what say you and I learn more about the campaign from someone who was directly involved? The knowledge should prepare us better than for what's to come. Let's make a brief detour to present-day Sandoria before we head to Zarkabard. Alright, well, let's head to present-day Sandoria. Now, what we have to do is actually zone into Sandoria from Eastron Far, so... Well, I can teleport directly there. We'll have to leave the city and then come back in. Atomos. What in the world? Our future is fading away? The comet? Are we the only ones who can see it? The situation is worse than I feared. We haven't any time to waste. As for who we could speak to... How about Monole Halver, whom we accompanied to entreat the aid of Bastok and Windurst in the past? Considering his post, he should be well versed in all things regarding the Crystal War. Whether or not he remembers the two of us, though, we'll just have to find out. Alright, so Halver is going to be in the chateau. You gotta wait for everybody to load in. There he is. Beg your pardon, my lord. Would you by any chance remember us? Who are you and what business have you within Chateau de Orgail? Aw. My companion and I are, simple adventurers, hungry for knowledge. My lord, if my lord could spare the time, we wish to learn about the Battle of Zarkabard. Ah, your request is as music to my ears, young lady. The youth of today show precious little interest in the events of the past, the sacrifices that many made to ensure the continued existence of our fair kingdom. And it has been 20 years.
Naught would give me greater pleasure than to share all I know. Now then, where shall we begin? Yes. Sir Regulus B. Balamont, the hero of the Battle of Zarkabard. It is a name I recall well. Sadly, though, I am given to understand that none in his unit, the Iron Crest Hawks, survived to return home. Such a grueling battle it must have been. Wait, I once was told of a man who religiously visited Sir Regulus's grave out in Battaglia Downs. I have no notion as to the identity of that individual, but it might well serve to seek him out. Thank you, my lord. Here now, let's make haste to Battaglia Downs. A moment. Yes, my lord? The resemblance you bear to someone I fought beside during the war is truly striking. And daring young lady she was, with such strength of spirit as would make one believe naught was beyond hope. Tis merely but a trick of the mind, surely, for 2 decades have passed since then. Were we to meet this day, she would stand before me a stately matron. Alright. So he does remember some stuff. Alright, now we're going to have to head out to Battaglia Downs to find out whoever this is that is visiting Sir Regulus's grave. But I think we will do that next episode. And we'll see who that is when we come back. Alright, so for now, we'll go ahead and stop here. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Go ahead, like, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you next time.